Welcome again, Leo. It's a big month for you, September 2022. I'm Didici, and I'm going to talk you through some of the important transits that are likely to occur if your sun sign is Leo, if your rising sign happens to be Leo, or if you know your lunar sign. Then we can apply some of these astrological aspects to that lunar chart as well. Big thing here, first transit off the mark is this Venus, which is your career planet, moving into the finance sector where the sun is already transiting. This is where you earn your money, how you earn your money, the efforts you make, how you actually go about doing that. And on the 5th, Venus moves into this area. So there's an intimate link between your finance sector and this career sector. There it is there. The problem is that Venus is a little bit weak in the sign of Virgo. So what you may find is, especially if you're trying to socialize or network your way through this, as shown by the powerful Mars in the 11th house here, you may put a lot of effort into this, only to find that you're not getting the results. Number one, Venus is weak in the sign of Virgo. It's debilitated. And it's sort of near the sun, which means it's combust. So it doesn't have that requisite strength, pardon me, to build the energy. But later in the month, and I'm going to keep you waiting for that, you're going to see some interesting developments in this area. The full moon takes place on the 10th. You can see that's in the zone of shared resources. Now there's some hints there that you may be able to work on studying the way other people make money. What are the little tricks of successful people that can help you utilize some of these transits here that we see in the second house. The moon moves there into conjunction with Jupiter. That brings a little bit of luck to you. On the 11th, there's a sudden transit of, look at that, the sun with Uranus there in the 10th house. So things are happening, but they may not be happening as quickly as you'd like. That has something to do with some doubts that are possibly setting in here, shown by this retrograde Mercury in your 3rd house. That retrograde motion we can see is happening with quite a few other planets as well. There's Uranus retrograde, there's Jupiter, Neptune, Saturn, and Pluto. All the outer planets appear to be retrograde right now. And that affects us on a generational level. But when Mercury is retrograde, Jupiter too, to some extent, we see that there's stuff coming from our own personal space that's impacting those affairs of our lives. Mercury makes an opposition to Jupiter on the 19th, right there in that area. So you may be over-optimistic, but the retrogression shows that you have to be a little more cautious, signing contracts. That 3rd house has to do with contracts, shaking hands on a deal. You may need to be less optimistic. That's that Mercury-Jupiter opposition there, coming from the legal house. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Say no more, say no more. Mercury's going to move out of there. It shows that what you wish to do may need to be carefully thought out. And on the 23rd, take a look there, Mercury, which is the planet ruling this 11th house of profitability, there in the 3rd house of contracts, moves back into this 2nd house of finance. That's where that Venus and Sun transit are occurring. The sun makes a transit into that 3rd house. It's almost like these two planets are exchanging their places, doing different work. There's the sun moving into the 3rd house. Then Mercury moves back into the 2nd house. Moon also moves into this area. A lot of activity there, as you can see, around the 23rd and the 24th. And then, of course, the 26th is the big one I was talking about. You see here, the moon will move into this 3rd house. There's a new dawn, if I could put it that way. The new moon indicates an opportunity for you, a way of conducting yourself that you may not have stumbled upon until right now, this month, in terms of the way you're communicating, the way you're presenting yourself, your attitude, and the skill and courage to do things you haven't done before in the way you haven't done before. That's what I think this new moon is about. It gives you the foresight but mark the fact that Mercury is still retrograde until the end of the month, into the early part of October. So you may not get the results that you're looking for immediately, but at least you've got all of your ducks in a row there. You see there Venus moving into the third house. That's again just reminding you, the planet that relates to your career, moving into a nice area there where you can increase your productivity, take those bold steps that you were fearful of. And of course, Venus is the planet of love. And so there may be some opportunity for you to start some sort of new relationship at this time. That may be related to travel. Mind you, Venus is still a little bit weak, even though it's in its domicile, what we call the sign of Libra that it owns. It is still near the sun. Sun's going to move away, so that relationship component gets stronger too, but that's for next month. In the meantime, don't forget to stop over at astrology.com.au. That's my site. That's where I've got more stuff on September for you. I've got lots of free stuff there as well. Please subscribe so you know what's going on, and drop me a line if you wish, or better still, have a reading with me and I can give you more detail on what's happening in your karma, in your neck of the universe in the coming months and years. I'll see you next month. Take care.